to deal with the world and its chaos and, yeah, its madness, is to possibly, what can we do to change? You know, we say, what can we do? What little bit can we do? And maybe the big bit is to confront ourselves and look within ourselves and understand that the only true power that we have is within ourselves. And if enough people use their own power, which we do have, the power to change ourselves. If we used our own power, and altogether those joints of power would have enough impact.
Would you say that one can detach from the chaos? Because often they say if you get upset about something, or you don't like this person, or there's certain situations in your life that you don't really want to be involved with, but you are aware of them. And often people say to you, detach. How would you explain that? How would one achieve that? Because I find it very difficult.
I don't think we can detach from anything. I think we can disconnect. I think even on a quantum level, I mean, everything's connected. We're all connected in this room. We're sitting here, we real think. There's air and everything's connected. You do that and there's something there. There's something's there. So everything is made of molecules and everything's connected. So if you want to break it down to the real, the smallest Russian doll of metaphysics, you can't physically detach, but you can disconnect, and you can disconnect your own sensation of how you believe you're being affected, in my mind. So if I don't like this stance and I change my stance, things are different. They're different from my perspective. And if you change your perspective, you are affected differently. And I think it all boils down to the understanding. You know, there's a lot in the work I do. I've had to really go into the whole forgiveness thing. And I think forgiveness is used very loosely. You know, just forgive. Pick up the phone. Tell him you forgive him. I think there's too much that we're doing that's coming from here. There's too much that's coming from our headspace, from our thoughts, from our brains. And there's not enough that's coming from our feelings. I'm not sure if we achieve much from thinking about stuff. I think even our deeper thoughts, what we know, comes from intuition. Talk about your gut. I'm you know, in my trade, in my metaphysical profession, I'm questioning the real meaning of a brain. How, you know, maybe it's hyperbolized, maybe it's blown out of proportion, that, you know, we need to really think about that, because I think the more we think about it, the more confused we are. You feel it. And if we can just really take a step back and remove ourselves from how we are being impacted, instead of getting in this whole, this tiz about, getting worked up about how things are affecting us, and try and understand. It's very difficult because we're emotional beings. To really just try and understand what is going on. The non-acceptance of it is another thing, but the capacity to dwell with it, I think it'll be a lot easier. I don't believe it's ever been any different. I mean, in archaic times, in the Dark Ages, there was other stuff. There were other energies. You know, they used the pipe bomber went through the castle with a ram. You know, there was a problem. So I think we need to a wooden ram, not a bear. We need to. You wouldn't, would you? You wouldn't want to break down a door with a. Anyway, so I think there's always been stuff, and we need to just be able to process it. If we look at